Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I'm a transgender woman who talks about all things horror. And today we're talking about the horror movie Oculus. Now, this is another modern horror movie. Most of my interest is in the 70s and 80s and 90s, late 70s to mid 90s, and that's where my horror interests lie. So it's rare for me to venture outside that, but I am starting to discover modern horror movies, and this is one of those movies. So let's go ahead and talk about the movie a little bit. This is one of those haunted movies. It's a haunted thing movie. It's a mirror. And basically, it causes you, the owner, or whoever possesses the mirror, like physically possesses the mirror, it causes you to see things that aren't there. And it tricks you into killing either yourself or somebody you love, or somebody in the room, or it kills you itself. And so this girl and this boy, the boy just got out of prison because he was accused of murdering, I believe it was his mother, if I remember correctly. And so he just got out of prison. He had just, because he told the story about it. It was the mirror, it wasn't him. And they didn't believe him. So he got out on insanity or something like that. And he got rehabilitated. And so it's Karen Gillan, and I don't remember the guy's name, but Karen Gillan, from the Avengers movies and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Who. She was Amy Pond. She's a real famous actress, the redhead. You know who she is. And she has been searching for this mirror ever since, and she found it. And so she brings it home to her childhood home, and she sets up cameras, and she's going to prove that the mirror is in fact haunted. And she retells the story of the mirror to her brother, who's already heard it all. And she goes through and shows like all her quote unquote evidence that the mirror is legitimately possessed. And then they start having flashbacks to their childhood, and weird things start happening. They start seeing things that aren't real, and they start remembering things that didn't happen. And through the course of the movie, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but through the course of the movie, the mirror frames the brother for the sister's death. So it kills her, and then it frames the brother for his death. So now she has to go for her death. Excuse me. So now he has to go back to the mental institution or back to prison, whichever one they put him in. And that's basically it. It's really only got the two kills, mother daughter. So in a roundabout way, it's kind of poetic. But really, it's very scary. This movie is dark and very intense. This is one of the scariest movies I have ever seen. I remember watching this movie and I was like glued to the TV. Normally, when I watch a horror, I'll admit this. Normally, when I watch a horror movie, I have my laptop off to the side, or I'll be watching a movie on my PlayStation, and I'll either be watching a movie on the PlayStation and doing computer stuff on my laptop, or I'll have the laptop off to the side, I'll be watching a horror movie on the laptop, and I'll be playing on my phone. This movie had me glued to the TV. I put everything aside and watched this movie. This is an absolute buy. This is a movie you definitely want to get into your horror collection at some point. Um, I'm not going to go out so far as to say, ooh, this needs to be like your top 10 or whatever, but this is one of the best modern horror movies I've ever seen. And so I definitely highly recommend this movie.